Guys, when I first heard about this story with LeBron James getting called out, I said, I'm not going to do it. I ain't 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 going to talk about it. It's too easy. But then I actually watched the interview, right, that he did in response to this guy right here, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, I butchered it. Who basically told him to shut up and dribble. Right. And when I saw that response, I said, I can't help it. I can't help it. I got to do a video on this because everything LeBron James said in response was just so stupid. Right. It was so silly. And it was worthy of a video. So just as a preface here in regards to the whole shut up and dribble thing, I really do feel like Laura Ingraham, right, when she told LeBron that was the best advice that somebody could have given to somebody like LeBron. Now, a lot of people saw that comment that Laura Ingraham made as, racist, or, she was being mean to LeBron, or she was calling him dumb. I don't think that that's what she was saying. I think what she was saying is that, listen, this is not your field, right? Like, you play basketball, okay? And a majority of your time is spent on playing basketball. When you start to get into politics, right, like, you need to actually really be educated. LeBron James, I think he has a high school degree. He didn't go to college, right? And it doesn't matter if he went to college, but I'm just saying. He's played basketball all his life, okay? And I know personally, guys, like, being somebody that covers politics, like, to truly understand what's going on, you actually really do need to put a lot of time into reading, right? Understanding history, understanding what's going on now, understanding the legislative process, understanding all that. You need to put in effort to really be able to speak on this stuff in an educated manner. I'm so serious about that. And that's the same thing that Jason Whitlock was basically trying to tell LeBron James too. He was like, listen, like, you can hire people to speak for you and to be political. You personally don't need to do that. You need to focus on making your money, and then you can use whatever resources that you get from playing basketball to, hire people who actually know what they're doing in this political space. And I 100% agree with that advice, right? So people like Jason Whitlock, who get called names by the black community, and Laura Ingraham, who gets accused of being racist, they're actually giving LeBron James really good advice. And the more I think about it, the more I am convinced that LeBron James can't help himself when it comes to these issues, because he's going to try to run for governor or senator or maybe even president one day, right? I do think that LeBron James is that much of a narcissist that he will try to run for public office. And I think that that's why he's so adamant about speaking on these issues outside of just the Nike China thing, which I'll get into. But part of the reason why he's so vocal about these issues is because he's basically in his tryouts for becoming a politician. That's why he is kissing the butt of the Democrat establishment so much, because this is his tryout period. He's trying to become one of them, right? Hanging out with Hillary, hanging out with Obama, all the Democrat stars. LeBron James is right behind him. And you know what? It kind of makes sense, because if you guys watch my channel, you guys know that politicians are nothing but pawns, right? They're pawns that are bought and sold by big corporations, right? And every now and then, they got to do a trick for these big corporations in order to keep their seats. That's all they are. Politicians are just pawns, okay? If you want something done, you buy a politician, right? And with LeBron James, right, we already know he has experience being tricked out by Nike, right? And he's done a fantastic job of going out there and doing tricks for Nike whenever they need him to sell some shoes to poor black kids who can't afford it. So who knows? It makes sense why LeBron James would want to be a politician, because apparently he's for sale. Okay. And this soccer player, this international soccer player, is also giving LeBron James the same advice, which is good advice. So let's take a look at this video of him discussing politics and sports, and then we'll look at LeBron's response.
You like going to watch basketball?
Yeah. I liked a lot, and he's a phenomenal in what he's doing. But I don't like when people, when they have some kind of status and they go in and they do politics at the same time what they're doing. I mean, do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football because I'm the best in playing football. I don't do politics. If I would be a politician, I would do politics. That is the first mistake people do when they become famous and they come in a certain status. Stay out of it. Just do what you're best at because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Right? I mean, and honestly, again, I'm principled on this. Whether you conservative or you liberal, for the most part, you should probably stay out of politics if you're in sports, right? Whether you're conservative or liberal. Now, obviously we're in a time of day where it's okay to be liberal in politics. So you have conservatives that have coming out like Kobe in MMA and basically, became political as well. So, hey, you got both sides doing it. But generally speaking, I think that is very good advice. Now, LeBron James is going to respond to this advice in the most LeBron James way ever, with pure ignorance and just no real substantive knowledge in regards to what the hell he's talking about. So I'm going to play his response, and I ain't going to lie, I'm going to pause this a lot because I got a lot to say because it's just too easy to burn this man up.
At the end of the day, I would never shut up about things that's wrong.
Wrong, LeBron. You shut up about China. You shut up about what's happened to the Uyghur Muslims over there in China, right? You shut up about it. You shut up about human rights abuses in China, okay? We know for a fact that you are bought and sold by China just by the way you acted in that situation. We know for a fact that all the stuff you talk about in reference to social justice is literally an act, right? You're the guy that tweeted, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter," right? Basically saying that injustice around the world is still his responsibility, right? And when it came to what was happening in China, he ignored it, right? He ignored it because China is signing them paychecks, right? And Nike. Nike is also in bed with China as well. So LeBron James only speaks up for what China and the Nike allow him to speak up for. That's the truth, right? And for him to come out and make that statement, I mean, just really shows how much he really doesn't even care, right? He doesn't even care because he knows his fans are going to believe anything that comes out of his mouth despite the actual reality, which is that we know what will make you shut up. China and Nike.
I preach about my people, and I preach about equality, social injustice, racism, systematic voting, voter suppression.
Everything they tell you to speak up about, not things that you actually researched, not things that you looked into, not things that you form your own opinion on, things that Dave told you what your opinion is, and things they told you that you need to speak up for to get along with the program so that Nike can make some money off of you and all these woke revolutionaries out here who think that wearing a "I can't breathe" shirt is going to change America.
Things that go on in our community, because I was a part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on, and I know that.
You notice what he said there? He said, "I was a part of my community at one point." Hold on, bruh. Now he's showing his rich privilege, which is what I've been telling you guys is really what exists here. It's really class privilege. He literally just said, "I used to be a part of my community." Okay? You're still black, so that means you must be talking about your wealth now. Okay? So that means that he's basically saying, I am not a part of my community anymore because I'm rich. Right? Which defeats, again, everything he said about how bad it is to be black in this country, whether you're rich or you're poor. Right? Because, again, like I said before, he's the person that said that, if you're black, you got to walk outside and be worried about getting killed by the cops or killed by a random white person. Okay? And we all know from his actions, right? Him living in Brentwood in LA, right? In one of the richest zip codes in the country, the fact that he stays there right, in this all white neighborhood, basically, with all these rich folks, it tells you where his mind is at. Okay, the fact that he's not living in the hood tells you exactly where his mind is at. He just told you we are not the same, right? We might be black, but we not the same type of black because I'm rich. That's literally what he just said. I didn't say that. He said that. So when you want LeBron James to speak for you, just understand he's not speaking for you. He's speaking for his community, which is rich folks, okay? AKA Nike Incorporated and the Democratic establishment.
You know, what's going on still, because I have a group of 300 plus kids at my school
that you don't pay for. I told you, it's too easy. LeBron James school, the I Promise school, which he gives a lot of praise for, and he deserves some credit for it. I ain't going to be too mean to him. But it is a tax burden on that area, right? On the local residents. And the people who don't even go to the school have to still pay for that school, right? So even if you don't go, right, as a parent, or your child doesn't attend that school, you still have to pay for it because it's a public school. And it's paid for through LeBron James's foundation, not directly out of his pocket. Now, obviously, LeBron contributes money to his foundation, but a lot of other people contribute money to LeBron's foundation as well. So that money, along with public taxpayer money, funds that school, right? So, you know, and we're talking about 300 kids here. So all the money that he puts in his school, honestly, it's pretty inefficient, right? In terms of a use of funds, right? Taxpayer dollars, private sector dollars. It's pretty inefficient. Okay, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve any credit for doing what he's doing, but at the same time, it's like, if you really look into it, if you do your research, there's kind of a lot of negatives that go along with this school, right? It just seems to be more of a talking point and a spectacle and more symbolism than it is real revolutionary change for that community. I mean, it's not really benefiting that many people at all.
that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. I'm their voice, and I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community, but around this country and around the world. So,
but see, that's the problem. That's the problem. They need a voice, but they need an educated voice. Okay, they need a voice that knows what they're talking about. They don't need a voice that is an athlete that dribbles a ball up and down the court, puts a ball through the hoop, barely has read his Malcolm X book, right? Can't even name a passage from it or a quote from it, or can't even name his favorite part of the book. Okay, they don't need that, somebody like that. They don't need you. They need somebody who's actually educated. And again, like Jason Whitlock said, take your money, find people who are educated in this field and who have some experience, and have them be the voice. Have them do the work, right? And you're backing it, but you personally do not need to be at the forefront of this because you don't know what you're talking about.
If there's no reason, I won't say no reason, but there's no way I will ever just stick to sports, because I understand how this platform and how powerful my voice is.
Okay, so why you speak up against China? There's no way I'll ever stick to sports, except when it comes to China. And again, why has no reporter called LeBron out on this? Hey, LeBron, you're always talking about how you're not going to stick to sports. You're always going to speak out for what's right. Why have you not spoken out for what's right in China? Because the NBA has a very large interest in China, just like they have in the United States. So therefore, you can't use the excuse that, well, we're not involved in that country, or that their citizens are not involved with the NBA, or that they don't pay you, or that they're not your constituents. You can't use that excuse, because you guys play in China, and China is a significant part of league revenue, right? And also in the future plans for expansion. So why have you not spoken out against these wrongdoings in China the same way you speak out against, the perceived wrongdoings in the United States? You have fans in both countries, right? You have people that look up to you in both countries. I don't understand why any journalists have not asked LeBron James this question. It really blows my mind.
And he can just ask Renee Montgomery, if I would have shut up and just dribbled. Seeing that beautiful black woman today. This man's a simp, man. He a simp.
I wonder if Savannah James is going to be okay with that comment. Right? I wonder what she thinks about that comment that LeBron James just made. She probably don't care. She probably used to it. Honestly, it's probably a part of the the marriage agreement.
Be a part of a group where she's part of an ownership group now with the Atlanta Dream down in Atlanta. And it's funny he say that because I believe in like 2018, he was the same guy who said when he was back in Sweden talking about the same things because his last name wasn't a certain last name that he felt like it was some racism going on when he was out on the pitch. Right? He did say that, right? Yeah. I thought he said that. So
LeBron think he got him with a zinger there, boy. LeBron James is like, oh yeah, I got him. He's a hypocrite. Well, I mean, if the guy thinks that he experienced some racism in another country, that's different from wanting to be involved in the politics of that country, right? Those are two different things, right? I can accuse anybody of racism in any country, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm involved in trying to actively change that country, right? That those are two different things. So LeBron James thinks he got him when his counterpoint really is irrelevant.
I speak from a very educated mind.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And I look at this man's face. Look at his face. I cannot take this man serious. He said, I speak from a very educated mind. Bro, you're not educated. That's my whole point of this video. And I can't believe this man said it with a straight face. Okay? I've never heard LeBron James speak on any political topic with any kind of even basic knowledge about what he's talking about. Okay? I've never heard him do it. So this man to sit here act like he's so educated, like he got all the answers, it's just hilarious to me.
I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at because I do my homework.
No, you don't. Just like you did your homework on that Malcolm X book too, didn't you? But anyways, guys, so LeBron James got called out by another pro athlete, basically telling him to shut up and dribble, and that's his response. So let me know what you guys think about this interaction here. Do you guys think that LeBron is educated on these topics that he speak about? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.